Hello and welcome to the BeachBoard Navigation video for our course. Right off the bat, you will see that I am operating in a course shell. So instead of seeing this on the banner or this description up in the course description area, you should see the course number and section that you are enrolled in. Up at the top, there are several icons that you can use to navigate through the learning management system. The 9 boxes icon will take you to any course that you are currently enrolled in. The little comment bubbles will give you any alerts or updates or notifications for discussion boards that you've subscribed to. And the bell icon will give you any alerts or notifications based on your notification settings. If you click on your name, you can add information to your profile. This is accessible to any classmates or myself, so only put stuff that you are comfortable sharing about yourself. You can set up notifications by clicking on this link. I would recommend setting up notifications for this class just so you stay up to date on what's going on, when things are due, when things are available. There is an app that you can download that connects directly to BeachBoard. If you're not keen to using another app on your phone, you can always set your contact methods either as your email or phone number. And then you can set a summary of activity. This could either be daily, weekly, or never. And then you can also receive instant notifications for a variety of things in BeachBoard. So if you're somebody who likes to procrastinate, or you forget due dates, or you're really obsessed like I was when I was a student about when grades are posted or updated, or when you get feedback on assignments, that type of thing, this is where you would set it up. And you can customize your notifications for certain courses, so if you don't want to include some of your courses, you can add them to a course exclusion list. But you can check what you want to be sent to you either via phone or email. And then that way you have some control over what notifications you get and how often you get them. Additionally, you can go to account settings to set up different learning management system settings. So if you think the font sizes are too small, you can adjust font sizing. There are additional settings such as time zones, how you appear when you sign in, etc. On the course homepage, this is what will show up when you log into the course. At the top, you'll see a bunch of quick links. Most of these videos are included in the welcome video, including this video that I'm making now. But generally, I've found that students like to have these videos as a reference throughout the semester, especially downloading SPSS, accessing the virtual lab, any accessibility tips for YouTube if you need closed captioning or if you need to upload transcripts from videos. And then also, there's usually several questions on saving or exporting data and outputs in SPSS. So this is a video link that explicitly discusses SPSS, but there are a lot of other SPSS questions that I usually get. So I've also linked some troubleshooting content for you if you get stuck and need that information. Down below the quick links widget, we have our getting started steps. So this is where you should have found this video if you were starting with the Get Started checklist. After you complete this Getting Started area, you can always collapse the widget by clicking on the drop-down menu. And this way, your news items will be pushed up on the course homepage. News items I will post on a weekly basis, and they will have links to our live meetings, links to office hours. If I'm canceling office hours, I will typically let you know in the morning and weekly post. I also usually outline what's due, what we're doing for the week, if there are any important due dates that you should know about for the week, etc. I believe usually there's only 1 to 3 news items that will show up on the page. You can always click the link at the bottom of the last news item to show all news items, or you can click on the drop-down menu to go to the news tool, and that will give you every single news item and announcement that we have for this class. To the right of this section, we have calendar due dates. So this is everything from quiz availability and due dates to discussion availability and due dates to activity availability and due dates. So keep an eye on this as you go through the course. It'll be a quick reference to what is coming for the week and coming weeks. Below those 2 sections, we have a bunch of student resources that are quick links to some websites provided by the university that may be of assistance to you throughout the semester. I also have my instructor contact information. Email is the best way to reach me. I, at most, will give you a response within 24 hours. Usually, if I'm not eating, sleeping, or in class, I will respond to you as soon as I get a notification that I have an email from you. I've also linked our office hours Zoom link as well as the meeting password. It is case sensitive, so please make sure you don't forget the capital K. Additional information on office hours is located in the content section as well as the syllabus, which I will show you. I also have an instructor bio if you want to know a little bit more about me. And at the very bottom, we have BeachBoard and accessibility policies. The content section is where we're going to be operating the most in this class. You will be taken directly to the overview page, which is where our course syllabus is located. Underneath the syllabus link, you will also find a course schedule that outlines what modules and topics that are being covered in those modules, when they're happening, or what week in the semester they're happening, start and end dates, any tasks that are going to be associated with that module, as well as relevant due dates. If you have already watched the course overview video, you will notice that all of our due dates are on Mondays. So any graded activities or assignments will all be due at the same time, just for convenience. It's easy to remember, and it's repetitive the entire semester, so it would be really hard to forget. But this table outlines all of the activities that you're going to be doing for the semester. And at the very bottom, we have a scrollable syllabus for quick reference and any quick course links that you need access to. The next section that might be of interest to you is the table of contents. This literally has everything, folders and links that you would need that are also in this toolbar on the left-hand side. So if you have expanded any one of these tabs and you want to collapse all of them instantaneously, you just click on the table of contents and everything will collapse back to this view here. The Start Here section should have been where you started. So I'm sure most of you have seen this module already, but it has links to our Get Started checklist, a link to the Introduce Yourself discussion board, as well as a link to the optional pre-semester survey, which is extra credit. Underneath this tab, we have our online meetings. So The online classroom folder is where you'll find our lecture meeting link, the time that we meet, as well as a link to add the event to your Google Calendar if you use Google Calendar. The calendar link automatically includes the Zoom link in the description, so it's pretty easy access. I'm a little biased to Google Calendar. I use it for everything, so if you like to be organized and have a lot of colors in your life, I highly recommend using this to organize your weekly events, whether they're related to school, work, or both of those things, as well as recreational activities. If you're in the asynchronous section, this online link may not be used by you at all this semester, but it's completely optional and open for you guys to join the live section on Mondays from 1 to 2:50. Underneath this, we have our virtual office. So if you click in this folder, you will find the office hours Zoom link, as well as a Google Calendar link if you're one of those people who likes to come to office hours and hang out with me every week. Office hours will be on Mondays from 11:30 to 2:30. All of the information in this folder is also included in the syllabus, so lots of places you can find things. We also have a discussion board for general course questions. Please keep this as general as possible. So any personal questions about grades, if you had an absence or need to do a makeup assignment, or if you have any other personal things that you just don't want your classmates to know about, don't post them in this discussion board. Please email them to me instead, or we can schedule an office hours appointment that works at a time for both of us. The weekly modules area is where you're going to see descriptions of the modules that we have scheduled for the course. I only have a certain number visible for this video, but you should be able to see all course modules through the end of the semester. However, your access to them will be limited based on the week they become available. If we click in Module 1 from this side toolbar, you will see that we have the topic of the module listed at the top of the page, the week we are in, the start and end date of the module, as well as the learning objectives that are applied specifically to the module and any associated course learning objectives that are posted in the syllabus. Underneath that, you'll find the percent of the final grade that you're working towards for the week. So any relevant due dates, usually they're all going to be the same due date. And then any grade items and associated module learning outcomes that go with those assignments. So if you're unsure on what is on quiz 1, you can always check which module learning outcomes are being tested so that you can be better prepared to take the quiz or complete any of these assignments. You'll see a sum of the week total. So for this particular week, you have earned or will be earning 5.5% of your final grade. And then we also have a total or a percentage that has been completed to date. So pre-semester stuff such as the Get Started quiz and the Introduce Yourself discussion board were 3% of your final grade, and I've added week 1's total to those items. This is really helpful, I find, for students to keep track of how much we've done in the class, how much we have to go, so that you can kind of gauge how much time you have to withdraw if you feel like that's the best decision for you, or if you see that you're going to have a conflict with travel or religious holiday, or if you have jury duty, whatever, you can kind of get a sense of what is happening during the week and then that gives you the opportunity to reach out to me before stuff is due so that we can figure out alternative arrangements. Underneath this, the layout for each of these modules is the same. So you'll have a module checklist, which I highly recommend you base your entire life in this class on. Underneath that, we'll have the live lecture recording links. Clearly there's no link because we haven't had a class meeting yet. And then underneath that, you'll have links to all of the assessments for the module. So typically this will be an activity, a quiz, and a discussion. Just to give you an idea of what the checklist looks like, because I have emphasized it, each week the format of the checklist should relatively be the same. This format will be relevant for weeks that we have lecture. So you'll have a download section where you can download any lecture, activity, or discussion materials. You'll have a watch section. So if you're in the asynchronous class, this is where you'll find the links to the pre-recorded lectures. However, you also have access to the recorded lectures from the live meetings that we have that will be posted in the module section that we just came from. In here, you'll also have access to each of the activity videos. I've broken them down and put timestamps next to them so you know approximately how long they will take to complete. And then usually we'll have a review, practice, and study section. This section is completely optional. This is pretty much where I put all of the supplemental materials for the class. So more often than not, these will include a key terms and concepts document, which kind of can serve as a module study guide for you. So after you watch and do activities and whatnot, you can go back through this and it's a checklist to see if you remembered stuff or just highlighting important things that might have come from the lecture or activities. There will also usually be a practice set, either of data to manipulate in Excel or SPSS. Sometimes, like this case, it's a matching game to help you practice your data classification. But usually there's going to be a practice set that I'll mention in lecture. So you can just direct yourself here after you get through the lecture video. I also link any grading rubrics for the week in here that you can use as a checklist to kind of go through your activities or discussions, make sure that they're complete and that you are meeting all of the criteria that I'll be grading you on. I'll only post grading rubrics for activities and discussions because quizzes are automatically graded in the quiz tab in BeachBoard, and any point values are assigned or pre-assigned to those questions, and everything is graded based on if you have identified the correct answer that's in the answer bank. Last but not least, again, you'll find any links to assignments that will be graded for the week, as well as the associated module learning outcomes that go with those activities. So we'll have your regular activity, the quiz, and the discussion at the bottom. These also have due dates on them, so you can keep track of when things are due through the checklist. The other thing I like about the checklist is you can keep track of where you are and how much you've done for the week. So as you complete stuff, fill the checkbox, and then you can see your progress in this progress bar at the top. I know for me, I'm generally a procrastinator, so having the progress bar helps me with time management. Just visually seeing how much of the content I have finished really helps me to not procrastinate as much. If we go back to the table of contents, we will see the next item down on the list is all course materials. So anything that are in the weekly checklists in the module content will also be in the course materials. This mainly is to serve as a quick reference if you're looking for a particular lecture, activity, discussion, exam review, any supplemental materials or tables. You can't remember which module I posted them in. This is your quick reference. You can just go to the area that is relevant to what you're looking for, and you can find it pretty easily. So if we were looking for information for Activity 1, I've got documents, videos, grading rubrics, and Dropbox links posted in here. Similarly, if you were looking for lecture PowerPoints, you could find them based on the module that the lecture happened in. And the same thing goes for any supplemental materials. Oftentimes I will refer you guys to flowcharts or stat summary tables, which I've found are particularly helpful for studying. I also have individual supplemental materials that are attached to specific modules, so this usually will include the practice problems that I post for you guys in the weekly checklists. At the very bottom, we've got two more things, SPSS Troubleshooting. So this first link will take you to the online help center that is directly produced by IBM SPSS Statistics. You can pretty much search any test, function, etc. in that online source, and you should be able to find what you're looking for. If you would like a quick overview of what the SPSS environment looks like, you can feel free to watch this video. It's Learn SPSS in 15 minutes. So it literally takes no time, but you get a pretty good idea of what SPSS looks like. If you like to read stuff and are less of a video person, I've also included a chapter from the field textbook, which is optional for this class, but this takes you through the SPSS environment with pictures. The version of SPSS that are included in the pictures in this chapter are not up to date. However, most of the commands are still the same, so it's still a good resource that has more supplemental information that you might not get in this first video. I've also linked videos by Andy Field, who is the author of the Discovering Statistics textbook. There's information on entering data, importing data, what the output window looks like, exporting or copying SPSS outputs, as well as information on the syntax window. I have pretty extensively covered all of this information as we go through activity videos and you get acquainted with SPSS, but if you need quick references, you can always use this entire tab to help you out. Lastly, there are CSULB resources. So most of these are kind of the big resources that you might need to use throughout the semester. These same links are also on the course homepage, so you can reference those in multiple places in the course. The grade section is important for you guys to stay on top of your grades for this semester. I will try to post everything within a week of you turning in content. But on the grade setup, you have an outline of the weight for the final grade, how much each item is in a given category, and if there's any special cases. So for the exams, we drop the lowest test score. Up at the top, you can see how many points each item is worth. The points in this class don't really matter. What matters is the weight that you have achieved, and that will show you what basically what is going toward your final grade calculation. So you can add up each of these blue sections or blue categories. You can add those points up, and basically that will give you your point total out of 100 for your final grade. But we have a quiz section, an activities section, discussions, a section for your final project, as well as any extra credit that you can earn throughout this semester. Point values are not going to be what they are listed in here. They will change as I update content. Dropbox is where you're going to submit all of your activities for the class. So you will see the activity folders when they are available, what your score is. Under the evaluation status, you can access any feedback or grading rubrics that I have attached to your assignment. Reviewing feedback is really important for exams. So usually during the review weeks, I will say make sure you review all of your feedback before you take the exam, just to make sure that you're not making any same mistakes that you got docked points on in your activities. We also have the due dates, so you can see when things are due. When there are gray, or when there's gray text, that means the activity is not available. When it is blue, that's when you can submit stuff. So there should be up to 2 blue links per week. One link will be open because it's the last day it's open. The other link will be open because it's the first day it's open. So Dropbox, this is where all of your activities will be done. Quizzes are where, obviously, your quizzes will be completed, as well as your course exams. I don't require Respondus, Monitor, or Lockdown Browser just because this class involves a lot of written work and computer work, and it's really difficult when you can't navigate out of a browser. So you guys are on the honor system, and just, have some integrity for your own work. That's all I ask. Everything has been organized based on categories, so our Get Started quiz is kind of something of its own. All of the rest of our quizzes, again, have due dates listed, as well as when they become available. The number of attempts that you have, every quiz has 2 attempts, and then the evaluation status and any feedback that's posted will show up here once you have completed your assignments. For exams, you only get 1 attempt, but the same thing goes here for when everything is graded. And then last, in the quiz section, we have our exam review quizzes, which are extra credit opportunities. And they'll be based solely off of the the exam review sessions that are held the week before the exam takes place. Next over is our class list, which you will pretty much just see my name because I'm the only person in my shell. But you can use the class list to email me directly if you just check the box next to my name and click email. You can also email your classmates if you have any questions or you missed a class and need class notes from somebody. Shouldn't be the case because you should have access to all pre-recorded materials, but if you want any supplemental information from your classmates, this would be the place to communicate with them if you don't have alternate contact information for them. In the discussion section, this is where all of our discussion boards are. The first discussion board that will show up is the general course questions. I need to alter the availability for that so you can see it. We'll also have the class introduction, so this is our first discussion board just to get to know each other. And then after that, you'll see the discussion forums for the rest of our discussions in this class. All discussion boards are set so that you have to post first. You can see that there is a note, must post first, before you can respond to other people. In case there weren't enough support links in this class, there is additional support for help with BeachBoard, the Technology Help Desk, additional student support if you need access to campus computer labs. I've also made a quick link to checklists So if you don't want to toggle through the weekly modules, you can go straight to your checklist and see how many items you've completed for each checklist. And then the last link that is in the navigation bar is to the rubrics for your graded assignments. So you can go through these and click on them as needed. Again, all of these are linked in the weekly module checklists under the review, practice, and study areas. And that is it. So welcome to KinStats. We're going to have a great semester. Hopefully this video was helpful for you in getting you started in the course and understanding how to navigate through everything. And yeah, let's do it.